Do you struggle with feeling your core when you're doing exercises? Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa, and in today's class, we are going over beginner core exercises so that you can feel the entire core system, which is your pelvic floor, deep lower abdominals, your obliques. We're gonna get everything in today's class. Go grab your mats and let's do this. If you happen to have some blocks or pillows before we get started, go ahead and grab those and let's come down onto your back. So our breath is so important with what you're feeling in your core and your pelvic floor. I hear a lot of times like, I just feel it in my upper abs. I don't really feel anything down lower. And this is where your breath and posture play a really big role. So place those hands down at the bottom of your rib cage and think of taking a breath out to the sides, front, back of your rib cage. And then exhale, let it go. Nice gentle breath in out to the front, sides, back of that rib cage. Exhale, slowly let it go. Good, one more breath. As we're breathing in, the breath goes all the way down, lengthening out pelvic floor muscles. On the exhale, it gently comes back up. Now, if you're having a hard time just feeling that pelvic floor and breath connection, there's other areas that might need to be addressed, like our hips could be too tight. We have to work on our rib cage. We might be gripping our upper abs. So I have lots of other videos on that. You can go ahead and check out that description box down below. Nice, gentle breath in. Exhale, let it go. Good. Now, if you've got your pillow or block, go ahead and grab that. And we're gonna take the block and place that in between our knees. You're gonna take your breath in, breathing out to the side. Almost think of it like a balloon expanding out. And when you go to exhale, we're gonna squeeze in around the block, blowing out those candles. Inhale, breathe out to the sides, front and back. Exhale, squeeze. Nice. Inhale, breathing out. Exhale, squeezing in around that block. So you're gonna feel those inner thighs kick on. As you're exhaling, blowing out the candles, you'll feel kind of from that pubic bone drawing everything all the way up. Now we don't keep this tight the entire time. We're inhale, the pelvic floor is lengthening as the diaphragm comes down. We exhale, we squeeze the block and come back up. So squeezing the block, you're getting your inner thighs, your adductor muscles. That's gonna help recruit and activate the core and pelvic floor a little bit more. Versus what you might typically hear in a class is draw your belly button towards your spine, get those lower abs, get your transverse abdominis, pull that belly button in, flatten your back against the ground. If we recruit other muscles, it helps activate a lot more than just doing those moves alone. Not to mention the flattening your back. It's not setting your core up properly. It's all about learning how to manage intra-abdominal pressure with your breath and positioning. So here we're really focusing on your breath. Positioning, we want to have a neutral pelvis. So somewhere in the middle. We don't want to be all the way arched. We don't want the back jammed flat against the ground the entire time. Just do a couple more here. Nice breath in, exhale, squeeze. Good, one more time. Okay. Adding on here, we are going to squeeze the block on your exhale and just lift the hips up. So we're gonna get the glutes involved. Slowly inhale, lower back down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Now, if it felt really good squeezing and lifting, just squeezing the block and staying down, you can do that as well. It takes time and practice to get the breath and pelvic floor connection down. We're just kind of keep adding on layers with this beginner class. Squeezing in around that block. Nice work. You don't have to go up super high. You don't want to have a big arch in your back. You also don't want to be tucking underneath that neutral pelvis. Drive the feet into the ground. If you're feeling it more in the back of your thighs, what you can do is scoot your heels in a little bit closer. You want to make sure your neck and shoulders are relaxed and those aren't helping out. Good for 3, 2. Last one. Lower everything back down. Now, if you've got your other block, let's go ahead and grab that. Now we're gonna take a block and place a block in between our feet, and you're gonna place a block in between the knees as well. And you can play with what distance feels better for you. Now we're gonna squeeze in around the feet and the knees. Blow out those candles. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze at the feet and the knees. And see what happens if you take something out in between the knees and you're just squeezing around the feet. Do you feel it more or less? You can add the block back in, and everyone is different. So it's just making slight adjustments with the breath. Maybe you have to emphasize the exhale a little more. Maybe you keep your hands to remind you to breathe out like a balloon, all different directions. For 3, 2, last one. Nice. Let's go ahead and take the blocks out. Slide those feet back in towards your sit bones again. On the exhale, you're gonna press, lift your hips up, and I want you to imagine like you have flashlights on the front of your pelvis. We're gonna tip the flashlights to go to the left. So you're gonna push into your right glute or your right foot a little more. The right glute will fire up. Sometimes you have to like tap it to be like, hello, I want you to work. The left hip drops. Then we'll switch, bring the flashlights over towards the right-hand side. You can also imagine like you're doing a U with your pelvis, dropping from side to side. So we're just working on a little bit of mobility in our hips and in our pelvis, which is really important for our core and pelvic floor. You get the glutes activated, which is also part of our core and the pelvic floor. Pelvic floor and glutes are like BFFs. They work together. And just gently rocking side to side. It's not matter how high you're going. And again, if you're feeling it more in the back of your thighs, you can slide those heels in a little bit more. Three, 2, last one. Everything comes back to center, lower down. And we're gonna roll onto our left-hand side. If you've got a block or a pillow, go ahead and grab that. We're gonna place that in between our knees. You can also get it to go between the ankles if you'd like, and that's more comfortable. Option 1, you can stay all the way down. When we exhale, squeeze the block. You want the hips to stay stacked, knees and shoulders to stay stacked. That right hand's gonna be in front. When we go to exhale and squeeze the block, exhale, press that hand down to the ground. And you're thinking of lifting up this sideways, almost like you can kind of scoot your hand underneath there. You'll feel your obliques start to kick on. The other option with this is to be propped up onto your left forearm. And you might, I'm like, where's my other block? And you might need the other block in front. So up or down, find what feels best, because we want to feel the muscles. You want to know, okay, I'm working. I can feel the pelvic floor lifting, lowering. I feel those obliques kicking on. Exhale, squeeze, press into the block. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press. We're thinking of that sideways lifting up. We're not sinking into the left shoulder if you're up, and we're not rotating the chest towards the ground. We want those shoulders to stay stacked. I know I'm making you think of like a million things with this one, but it all matters. Good. Exhale, press, squeeze that block. Inhale, soften. Awesome job. Keep lifting out of that waist for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Nice. Now we're gonna come onto our hands and knees into tabletop. Block or pillow, same thing, in between those knees. Pressing into the palms, lengthen through the crown of your head. You don't want to have a big arch, and you also don't want that tailbone tucked underneath. You want that neutral pelvis. Nice breath in. On your exhale, squeeze the block. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze the block. Inhale, soften. So I'm showing you lots of different positions, and everyone is different. Maybe you found the version on our side that you activated the core and pelvic floor more. Maybe you found the one laying on your back or this tabletop one. It's finding which one works best for you and starting from there. Inhale, breathe out to the sides, front, back of the rib cage. Exhale, squeeze the block. And recruiting other muscles to help out with this system. We keep using those inner thighs. Good. Now, if this feels really good and you wanted to add on a little bit, what you could do is when you exhale, squeeze, think of sliding those shins out towards the side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, squeeze, slide them out. Inhale, bring it back in. Nice job. We've got 3, 2, last one. Nice. Now we're going to come on to our right hand side. Place the block back in between your knees. You can be all the way down. You can be propped up on that forearm. We have our hips are stacked. Our block comes out in front. When we exhale, we're squeezing those knees together and pressing the left hand as we think of lifting up this left rib cage, left side waist. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press. And check and see. I totally just caught myself doing this. My left toes were like, hello. So try to keep the feet relaxed. Don't let them help out with this one, which there is a big connection between our feet and our pelvic floor. Does this side feel any different than when we were on the other side? Is it easier to recruit the muscles? Is it harder? Do you feel it in different spots? Should be feeling the obliques on the right side. Pelvic floor gently lifting up on that exhale. Nice job. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Nice work. Let's come back onto our backs. One more here. And maybe all of them you can really feel. Maybe you pick and choose which one works best. Maybe you keep coming back to this class and adding on. I'm gonna pull the left knee in towards your chest. Bring your hands to your left thigh. When you exhale, you're gonna push your hands into your thigh and your thighs into your hand. Inhale, soften. Exhale, push. Inhale, soften. Exhale, push. Make sure it's not creeping up into the neck and shoulders. You could also use a block if you feel like it is. Maybe it gives yourself a little bit more distance. Nice. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Left leg goes down, right leg comes in. Nice breath in. Exhale, push. Inhale, soften. Exhale, push. Play with that exhale. Maybe emphasizing a little more, maybe pursing the lips together a little bit more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Nice. That right foot comes back down. Lengthen out through everything. Sweep those arms, come all the way overhead. Maybe you shimmy your hips left and right. So we did some nice work for the core and pelvic floor today. You can have an exercise that may seem like, oh my goodness, this is so easy, but really activate and recruit these muscles. So now that we did that, we want to just finish with lengthening relaxation. So let's bring either pillows or blocks to the outside of those hips. Soles of your feet comes together. You're just kind of setting up underneath those knees. You can also come into cobbler's pose without these. I like the blocks or pillows because it's just a little more restorative. And I want you to come to your breath. You're sending your breath all the way. We're not pushing or bearing down, having this come up, feeling lots of pressure. Just a gentle breath down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, let it go. Nice gentle breath in. Exhale, let it go. Everything sinks and get heavier into that mat. Awesome. Let's take one more breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Slowly slide those legs all the way back up. Move the blocks off towards the side. Let's roll onto our side. Come all the way up. Find a comfortable seated position. Let's take a nice big cleansing breath in. Lift those arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down towards heart center. Thanking your body for your practice today. If you're wanting to learn more about how the core and the pelvic floor system works, I have lots of resources down in the description box below. And we also have a ton more resources on our new app, Defy, and you can find that link up here. Keep up the good work. Until next time.